such a bad mood. My mom grounded me. Can you believe it? All I did was like sneak out of the castle. I just wanted to hang out with Snow White. She has the 7 coolest friends. Ugh. And I told my mom, I was like, this is so unfair. I'm like a prisoner. And then she goes up on this rant all the time because, little side note, my mom's mom is Rapunzel, so I like never hear the end of it. She always goes, oh, you don't have it so bad. You could be like my mom. She got locked in a tower. And she goes on and on and on, and she tells me this story. And I swear, I like know it by heart now. Do you guys want to hear this story? Okay. I gotta get in like my mom voice, so hold on. And once upon a time. All right, good go. Once upon a time, there was a man and a woman who lived in a cottage. And in their cottage, there was a small little window. And outside their window, they could see the most beautiful herb garden that the wife had ever seen. But this garden was guarded by a tall wall, and it belonged to the most feared enchantress of all the land, Dame Gothel. Now for years, the man and the woman had prayed to have a baby, and finally, their prayers had been answered, and the wife was pregnant with a daughter. But as soon as she became pregnant, the wife became deathly ill, and she had the strangest cravings. The one thing that she craved the most was the rampion from the garden next door. Does anybody know another word for the herb rampion?
No.
Rapunzel. Spoiler alert. So, the man saw his wife so sick, and he said, oh, what ails you, my dear wife? Oh, if I do not have any rampion from the garden next door, I shall die. So out of the love of his wife, for his wife, the man thought, well, sooner than let my wife die, I shall go pick the rampion myself. Let the consequences be what they may. So he snuck out of the house, and he snuck over the wall and stole a bunch of rampion to give to his wife. But this still did not satisfy her, and she was still very ill. So the next day he said once more, what ails you, my dear wife? Oh, if I do not have any of the rampion from next door, I shall die. So once more, he clambered over the wall to try and steal the rampion. But that night, there was a flash of lightning and a puff of smoke. Everyone do the puff of smoke with me. A puff of smoke. And up appeared Dame Gothel. Oh, how dare you steal from my garden? You shall suffer for your thievery. And the man cowered in fear. Oh, please, please have mercy. I was only stealing for my pregnant, ailing wife. You see, if she does not have any of your beautiful rampion, she will die. And the enchantress thought, well, if what you say is true, then I will spare your life, and you may have all the rampion that your wife needs. But in return, I shall have the child that your wife will bear, and I will raise her with kindness, and she will be my own. Out of fear for his life, the man consented immediately and took all the rampion home to his wife. Now months had passed, and the wife had given birth to the most beautiful baby in all the land. And immediately there was a flash of lightning and a puff of smoke. Everyone do it with me. Puff! And Dame Gothel appeared, snatched the baby, gave her the name Rapunzel, and was gone. Now Rapunzel had grown up to be the most beautiful woman under the sun. And at the age of 12, the enchantress shut her in a tower far in the forest. Now this tower had no door and no stairs, but a small window up at the top. Now to get into the tower, Dame Gothel would stand under the window and shout, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me. Let's all say it with her. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me. And immediately, Rapunzel would unbraid her beautiful golden locks and let them fall out the window, and they were so long they fell to the forest floor. And the enchantress would climb up the hair. Let's all climb up the hair. Climb up the hair to get to the window. Now as time passed, Rapunzel grew more and more beautiful, and she grew more and more lonely. And she would pass her time by singing all day. Now one day, the prince was riding his horse through the forest, and he heard the most beautiful melody. And he stopped in his tracks. This song was so charming to him that he just had to get up to the tower. But he walked over and he looked, and he could find no door and no stairs, so he rode home. But this melody haunted him, and he came back and visited Rapunzel outside of the tower every day. Until one day, he went and there was a flash of lightning and a puff of smoke. Let's all do it together. Puff! And he saw Dame Gothel appear under the tower, and she said, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me." Let's all say it. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me." And he saw these golden locks fall out of the window to the forest floor, and saw Dame Gothel climb up them. This gave the prince an idea. So once Dame Gothel left the tower, he snuck up beside it and decided to say, let's all say it together, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me." And thinking it was her mother, Rapunzel did. She unbraided her golden locks and they fell to the forest floor. Let's all climb with the prince up to see Rapunzel. And he climbed up to the top. Now, as all you can imagine, Rapunzel was terrified when she first saw him. But the prince began to speak to her like a friend, and soon she lost her fear. And they became fast friends, and they ended up falling in love. And the prince decided to propose to her and offered to take her away from this tower. And immediately she agreed. They devised a plan so that every day when the prince would come, he would bring a piece of silk, and they would fashion a ladder out of the silk so they both could climb down together. Now Dame Gothel did not know anything about the prince's visits until one day when Rapunzel let her guard down. "Oh, mother, how is it that you are so heavy and my prince is not? He is to me with nearly under a minute." At this, the enchantress became enraged. "Oh, you wicked child, I thought I had sheltered you from this world, and yet you deceived me." And in her rage, the enchantress grabbed Rapunzel's golden locks and cut them off, and then banished her to the desert. That night, the prince came to visit his beloved wife-to-be. He stood under the tower and said, everyone say it with me, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." And so he saw the golden locks fall, and he climbed up to them. But who was there instead of Rapunzel? It was Dame Gothel. After he learned what had happened to Rapunzel, he was so grief-stricken that he leapt from the top of the tower into a briar patch, blinding himself, and was left to roam the forest, eating nothing but roots and berries, lamenting the loss of his love. As months had passed, the prince wandered from the forest into the desert, where he heard a familiar melody. Could it be my Rapunzel? And he wandered toward the voice. It was Rapunzel. She had given birth to a beautiful baby girl and was singing her a lullaby. Once Rapunzel saw the prince, she ran to him, embraced him, and was weeping. Everyone weep with me. Oh! And 2 of her happy tears fell into his eyes and cleared them right up. And as soon as he could see, he took her to his kingdom, and they were married and lived happily ever after. So you see, I really have to listen to that story all the time. I mean, I guess it's romantic. Oh, wow. I guess I have to go, clean the chambers now, and I can't complain about that because, my mom will go off on this other rant of, a maid and a magic pumpkin. So I'll see you guys